Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasim. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and on StarTimes channel 276. We begin talking election matters where the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has dismissed reports claiming it has released the timetable and schedule of activities for the 2027 general election, describing the information as false and misleading. In a statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman, Adedayo Oketola, the Commission said it operates strictly within the law, noting that Section 28, Subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022 requires a notice of election to be published not later than 360 days before the poll. INEC assured Nigerians that the official timetable would be released in due course through its verified channels and urged the public to disregard the fake reports. In the meantime, a faction of the African Democratic Congress, loyal to its national chairman, Nafiu Gombe, has released guidelines for its congresses and national convention for the 2025-2026 political year. The faction disclosed that its National Working Committee convention is scheduled to hold between February 13 and 15, 2026 as part of efforts to strengthen internal democracy and reposition the party. The announcement comes after the faction disowned the reported defection of former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, insisting the registration violated the party's constitution. Now, away from politics, the National Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, will resume its total indefinite and complete strike from 12 a.m. on Monday, January 12th, citing the federal government's failure to fully implement a previously signed memorandum of understanding. The association said the action, tagged "No Implementation, No Going Back," will include center-based protests across hospitals and press briefings by leaders of its 91 centers following resolutions from an emergency National Executive Council meeting. NARD warned that the strike will only end after government met outstanding demands, including salary and promotion arrears, reinstatement of dismissed doctors, and full implementation of professional and specialized allowances. And now talking security, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Idi Abbas, has commended troops of Operation Hatankai for their courage and resilience in safeguarding the nation. According to a statement by the Joint Task Force spokesperson, Lieutenant Colonel Sani Uba, Abbas gave the commendation during a visit to the operations headquarters in Maiduguri, where he conveyed President Bola Tinubu's appreciation for their operational successes. The naval chief emphasized the importance of joint military operations, noting that collaboration enhances efficiency and strengthens national security. As the world celebrates the new year, many Nigerians are already looking ahead with hopes that the new year will bring relief from the economic and security challenges experienced in 2025. From rising food prices to insecurity and unemployment, citizens say several promises fell short, leaving them eager for better governance in the new year. Our correspondent Kabir Hassan took the conversation to the streets of Abuja to hear what Nigerians expect from the government in 2026 and what they believe was missing in 2025.
For many residents in the nation's capital, 2025 was a year marked by hardship. High inflation, insecurity, poor power supply, and unemployment dominated daily conversations as families struggled to cope with the rising cost of living. On the streets of Abuja, Nigerians say their expectations from the government in 2026 are shaped largely by the gaps they faced in 2025.
Our first priority is one, security, safety of the citizens. Understand? We have faced a lot of challenges the past year, 2025.
The expectation is very high as a Nigerian, as far as I'm concerned. But the government has to do a lot. They need to do a lot if they want to ensure that the insecurity is put to an end.
A lot of expectation. Issue of we have had a lot of challenges in the aspect of insecurity, and thank God recently we have seen the handwork of the government. There are a lot of improvement in tackling insecurity.
While some Nigerians are calling for stronger economic policies, others want improved security, better infrastructure, and affordable food prices. Many insist that the governance in 2026 must focus on the welfare of ordinary citizens rather than political promises.
Is to empower the military, empower the security. We are not going analog. The world have gone digital. You can't fight insecurity by using PACPO that are using here. America, they release one missile. See what happens. So we need empowerment. We need to empower our security, the military. Just use technology to fight insecurity.
If the political will is there, even you and I can make a change.
There are so much that we need the government to work on in the aspect of hardship. Things are very, very hard, extremely hard.
As Nigeria steps into 2026 with cautious optimism, their message remains clear: leadership must translate promises into action. For many, the hope is that the lessons of 2025 will guide better decisions, restore public trust, and deliver tangible improvement to everyday life. Kabir Hassan, reporting for Global TV News.
Let's now head to Niger State, where the government has approved the reopening of selected public and private schools across the state from Monday, January 12, 2026, following security assessment and consultations. The decision, announced in a statement by the Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Hadiza Mohammed, was approved by Governor Umaru Bago to ensure continuity of learning while prioritizing safety. The government said only schools in secure areas will resume, with a full list to be released on resumption date. The federal government has intensified efforts to address decades of environmental degradation and pollution-related health challenges in Ogoniland, with moves to operationalize the Ogoni Specialist Hospital. The initiative, being implemented through the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, represents a critical link between environmental remediation and public health recovery in the oil-polluted Niger Delta region. Environmental correspondent Ubong Usoro has the details.
Ogoniland in Nigeria's Niger Delta is one of the regions most impacted by decades of oil exploration, environmental pollution, and repeated ecological disasters, with lasting consequences for human health and livelihood. As part of government environmental justice efforts, the Technical Planning Committee on the Operationalization of the Ogoni Specialist Hospital has submitted its report to the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HYPREP, at the Project Coordination Office in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The committee comprises seasoned health professionals drawn from within and outside Ogoniland. Their mandate was to develop a comprehensive and environmental responsive operational framework to ensure the sustainable running of the hospital upon completion. Chairperson of the Technical Planning Committee, Christy Mato, says the establishment of the Ogoni Specialist Hospital is a direct response to the long-term health impact of environmental pollution resulting from years of oil exploration in Ogoniland.
Ogoniland, like we know, has been exposed to prolonged oil contamination that has limited water sources, soil, and air. The consequences have caused a complex mix of direct environmental poisoning and socio-economic issues.
Project coordinator of HYPREP, Nedi Barini Zabi, disclosed that the construction of the Ogoni Specialist Hospital has reached 78.2% completion, noting that the technical committee was established to provide a clear and sustainable operational pathway for the facility.
The Ogoni Specialist Hospital is a central component of the multi-layered public health interventions being implemented by HYPREP in Ogoniland.
Zabi added that when completed, the Ogoni Specialist Hospital will serve as a federal government-driven referral hub, providing specialized healthcare services, reducing dependence on distant urban hospitals, and strengthening environmental and public health resilience in the region. The federal government says the project represents a deliberate policy step in linking environmental cleanup with public health recovery, as Ogoniland continues on a path of environmental restoration, health rehabilitation, and improved quality of life. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency NIMET has forecast dust haze and sunshine across the country from Saturday to Monday. NIMET said slight moderate dust haze would affect parts of northern states, while the rest of the region remains sunny and hazy. The agency also predicted isolated thunderstorms with slight rainfalls over parts of south later in the day. Now, festivities in Abuja continue as many usually busy roads remain dry, with limited vehicular movement and fewer people on the street. Our correspondent Ubong Usoro reports that many residents are still spending quality time with family and friends.
Say the weather can influence the mood, but in Abuja, residents remain in celebratory spirit as New Year festivities continue, resulting in dry roads across the city. Major roads and neighborhood streets across the Federal Capital Territory show reduced traffic, a clear sign of the holiday period. Speaking with Global Television, Abdurrahman Mohammed said many residents are still visiting family and friends and gathering at relaxation spots to enjoy the new year.
Yes, usually it's not a working day, it's a day people are supposed to rest.
Some residents say the reduced traffic and dry roads have made movement easier for those with vehicles, although it has been a bit difficult for people waiting for taxis to find transportation.
People are still celebrating the new year. This is the New Year season, and several Abuja residents have traveled out. And then the few ones that remains are either indoor or just strolling around.
As the New Year celebration continues, Abuja residents remain hopeful and optimistic that by Monday, activities will be back to normal. But for now, the celebration continues. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
And now to Lagos State, where Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has confirmed that 8 people died in the Christmas Eve fire incident at the 22-story Great Nigeria Insurance Building on Lagos Island. During a visit to the site, the governor said 13 persons were rescued alive, while 5 victims have been identified, and 3 others remain unrecognizable pending DNA test. Sanwo-Olu ordered safety assessment of surrounding structures and warned that buildings failing integrity test would be demolished. Kidnappers holding the Oniwo of Afin, Oba Simeon Olanipekun, his son, and other residents in Kwara State have demanded a total ransom of 450 million naira for their release. The Kwara South Joint Community Security Watch Network Coordinator Olaiton Oyin Zubair confirmed that 150 million naira was demanded for the monarch and his son, while 300 million naira was requested for 8 other abductees. The monarch was abducted on December 31 when gunmen invaded his palace in Ifelodun local government area of the state. In the meantime, the Ondo State Police Command have arrested 2 suspected ritualists in Ile Oluji town following intelligence-led operations by its SWAT technical team. The police spokesperson in the state, DSP Adeyomi Jimo, said the suspect, a 53-year-old woman, and a 28-year-old son were arrested, while a 10-year-old boy allegedly intended for ritual was rescued. Jimo added that the suspects are in custody and will be charged to court after investigations. You're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle returns, United States captures Maduro after airstrikes in Venezuela. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back from that break. If you're just tuning in, this is the live broadcast of News Cycle on Global Television. And now to business news, where the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has projected a 4.49% economic growth and inflation easing to an average of 12.94% in 2026. In its economic outlook, the Apex Bank said the projections are driven by financial sector reforms, improved forex stability, and increased oil production. The CBN also forecast foreign reserves to rise over $51 billion as lending costs gradually decline. In the meantime, Nigeria's spending on medical tourism declined by 96.2% in the first half of 2025 compared to the same period in 2024. And this is according to data released by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Spending fell from $2.38 million in early 2024 to just $0.09 million between January and June 2025. The data shows a sharp difference of $2.29 million year on year. Still talking business, the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency has assured air travelers that flight operations remain safe despite Hamilton haze affecting visibility. The agency's spokesperson, Dr. Abdullahi Musa, said all navigational aids at Nigerian airports are regularly maintained and calibrated in line with international standard. Musa added that the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority continuously audits compliance to ensure safety. And now to news making rounds on the foreign scene. Figures from the Canada Border Services Agency says Canada has deported 366 Nigerians between January and October 2025. An additional 974 Nigerians are currently awaiting removal, placing Nigeria among the top countries affected by Canada's immigration crackdown. The agency now deports nearly 400 foreign nationals weekly, the highest in over a decade. And now to the United States, where the United States has captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife and launched what United States President Donald Trump described as a large-scale airstrike on Venezuela, escalating weeks of heightened tension between Washington and Caracas. Trump said Maduro had been flown out of the country, though details remain unclear as Venezuela's government declared a state of national emergency, rejected what he called military aggression, and demanded immediate proof of life for the president and his wife. Eyewitnesses in Caracas reported explosions, shaking buildings and fires sending plumes of smoke into the sky as authorities condemned the strikes and the international community awaited further confirmation of events on ground. Rescue operations are ongoing in Nairobi after a multi-story building under construction collapsed, trapping at least 4 people. Kenyan authorities said 2 watchmen and 2 pedestrians remain under the rubble, while 1 survivor has been hospitalized. Investigations revealed that the building exceeded its approved height, likely causing structural failure. And now to the Middle East, where Israel says 37 humanitarian agencies supplying aid in Gaza have not met a deadline to meet security and transparency standard, stating that they would be banned from the territory despite an international outcry. The international non-governmental organizations, which had been ordered to disclose detailed information on their staff in Palestine, will now be required to cease operations by March 1st this year. Our correspondent Uyi Agbamofoigbe brings us more.
The United Nations has warned that the action will worsen the humanitarian crisis in the war-ravaged Palestinian territory, with several NGOs saying the requirements contravene international humanitarian law or endanger their independence. Teresa Leibowitz, Deputy Director of Physicians for Human Rights Israel, believes that implementation of these regulations and adding additional obstacles on the affected organizations is part of efforts to weaponize the delivery of aid as part of a broader systemic dismantling of civilian life in Gaza.
On the people of Gaza, it has a direct effect. It means that international organizations that have expertise, that are known around the world for providing humanitarian aid, that have expertise in Gaza itself, that have the trust of the community there, that have connections, will no longer be able to do what they have done.
Israel says the new regulation aims to prevent bodies it accuses of supporting terrorism from operating in the Palestinian territories. A ministry list indicates that prominent humanitarian organizations hit by the ban include Doctors Without Borders, the Norwegian Refugee Council, World Vision International, and Oxfam. In Doctors Without Borders' case, Israel accused it of having 2 employees who who were members of Palestinian militant groups Islamic Jihad and Hamas. Uyi Agmofwebe, reporting for Global TV News.
And now to the exciting world of sport, where the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has appointed a mixed officiating team of 3 Cameroonians and 2 Tunisians for Nigeria's round of 16 clash with Mozambique at the ongoing African Cup of Nations 2025 in Morocco, with Abdul Abdel Mafaya named as center referee. Mafaya will be assisted by his fellow Cameroonian Elvis Guy Npodo and Karin Fomo, having previously officiated the Group A match hosted between Morocco and Mali, which ended 1-1 and produced 44 tackles, 37 fouls, 2 penalties and 8 yellow cards. Tunisian Hatim Guirat will oversee the VAR duties alongside Khalil Hassani, while Gabon's Tanguy Patrice serves as 4th official for the match scheduled for Monday, January 5 at the Fez Sports Complex, where Group C winners Nigeria will face Mozambique, one of the 3rd best placed teams. In the meantime, Ademola Lookman has finished as the highest rated player of the group stage at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, with ratings by a team placing 3 Super Eagles players, Lookman, Samuel Chukwueze and Wilfred Ndidi, among the tournament's top 10 performers. Lookman topped the ranking with an average rating of 8.36 after recording 4 direct goal involvement in Nigeria's win over Tanzania and Tunisia, performances that helped the Super Eagles alongside Algeria finish the group phase with a perfect win record. The Atalanta forward was rested for the final group match against Uganda and was later named in CAF's Group Best 11, while Nigeria coach Eric Chile emerged as the best coach of the opening round. Now, away from football, a Shagamu Magistrate Court has adjourned until January 20, 2026 the case against Adeniyi Mobolaji Kayode, the driver involved in the accident that killed 2 close associates of former heavyweight boxing champion Anthony Joshua. The Ogun State Police Command said Kayode was arraigned on Friday over the December 29, 2025 crash near Danko along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, which claimed the lives of Kevin Latif, who's 36, and 36-year-old Shina Gami, both members of Joshua's training team. Police said that Kayode, a member of Joshua's Nigerian logistics unit, was allegedly speeding when the tire burst during an overtaking maneuver, causing the Lexus SUV to lose control and crash. That's it on News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms now showing on your screen using at Global TV NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim. Saying a very big thank you for watching.